and this is AnimeIndecision. Today I'm watching Symphogear Episode 4, episode title I choose not to pronounce. And that episode went from meh to batshit crazy in no time flat just before the end. It was like they distilled all of the crazy and just put it in concentrated at the end. The first 70% of this episode was nothing. Nothing. There was filler, Cagliostroing all over the place, exposition, and stupid filler. I won't expand on the filler much. Safe to say that it made this episode feel really long. Thank God I understand a little Japanese, because when I was rewatching the episode the second and third time, I would just kind of wander away during certain scenes and come back when it sounded like stuff was happening again. Cagliostro, well, in addition to bouncing all over the place and fighting the girls for no reason for the fourth time, she has done me a great service. She has finally given me a name for Maria's group. Neapolitan. This makes my life so much better. Every time I make notes, I'm like, what do I call Maria's group? Ex-terrorists, the secondary duo, the secondary trio, Maria and these people. It's Neapolitan girls. Done. Perfect. As for the exposition in the episode, the heart things from the opening theme are lapis, and they use the lapis and Carol's research to make their Faust robes, which are the alchemical version of Symphogear. Hopefully they've improved on Carol's design and they don't eat memories anymore. It's a bit of a drawback. The song group don't actually know what the Valverde documents are. They need some kind of Nazi decryption cipher to figure it out. And it looks like their cipher is like the size of a room. And I am no World War buff. I'm not a history buff. So, totally educate me in the comments if I'm wrong, but this thing being room size just seems impractical to me. Like, you have a cipher, but you still want to be able to get that information fast. You just want your enemies not to be able to get it. And you'd think it'd have to be, I don't know, somewhat portable-ish? Like, I feel like I've seen ciphers on Antiques Roadshow or whatever, and they were like, yay? Not like, the room? Again, I accept, I'm basically already prepared for the comments assuming I'm wrong, but this is just how I feel. And the cipher in this show basically seems like a reason to have the girls hanging around one specific base, defending a place so the alchemists can come pester them. Oh, and we did finally get a Chris transformation, and it's not related to her plot at all. So there's that. Okay, the fight might have been pointless, but there was something I liked in it, which is Chris shows utter and complete faith in her teammates, to the point where she lures Cagliostro out of position, basically by opening up herself to attack, knowing that her teammates would arrive just in time to help. Given all the shit she's been through in life, being like a refugee and a sex slave and her older sister hating her for doing the right thing, to see that trust and faith in her teammates was really awesome. This is the kind of scene that reminds me why Chris is my favorite main trio girl. And that's pretty much it for the first big chunk of the episode. And it's pretty lame. But then, some guy called Kamakura yells at the song boss out of silhouette. And I don't know who he's supposed to be. Probably someone from GX that I've forgotten. Why he is someone who can give boss dude orders. And what happened to Noodle Guy? Did something happen to Noodle Guy in GX? Seriously, I apparently don't remember 90% of that season. I'm rewatching it now if that helps. On first watch, I thought that Kamakura's silhouette resembled Adam's, But my second time through, I realized it really doesn't, so this last thing I said was completely pointless. And finally, the Alkanoids attack again. And the main trio girl are there to stop them, but for some reason they feel like they need to use their ignite system just to fight this comparatively small group of noise. I've seen one of the girls take out more noise than this by themselves without ignite, so I have no idea why they're using the ignite system. Side note, collective noun for noise. A herd? A murder? A cacophony of noise? Back to the ignite thing. So you might think, oh, maybe they're using the ignite system because they're worried about the shenanigans from last time, so they decided to use their power-up right away. But the reason they don't just use the ignite system all the time is because it's time limited. It doesn't make sense to engage it in advance just in case, because you'd be wasting limited time. And if they run out of, if they use up all their energy and thus run out of time from the ignite system, they lose access to their gear while the fatigue is there. So you don't want to engage it in advance. You want to save it until you absolutely need it. As far as I can tell, the only reason they're using ignite is so that the alchemists can show off in the next scene. Our Illuminati girls show up with their fancy new, definitely not Symphogears. Again, I don't feel like the girls defeated the normal alchemy, so this upgrade seems premature. That said, the Foss suits shoot our girls right out of their ignite modes, complete with a sick wailing sound effect that reminds me of Sylvanas' wailing arrow from HOTS. The Illuminati girls did say they were using Carol's research to make the Foss robes, and the ignite system was basically also made by Carol's research because it was made by Elf9. So I think it's kind of telling that their attacks knocked off the ignite system, but not the regular Symphogears. So then, Hibiki is lying there on her back defeated, saying, "If you're trying to free mankind, tell us what's up and we can work together." And despite myself, my cynical little self just smiles because it's so Hibiki. And I mean, Hibiki's converted enough bad guys, she has no reason not to keep trying. But just the imagery of her doing this spread out on the ground, oh, it's killing me. So now that the alchemists have our main trio beaten, what happens? Well, actually, Adam pimps in. Adam Weishaupt. Yes, I'm sure I've said that horribly wrong. The founder of the Illuminati. And he goes from, ooh, potential Bishanen, to what the fuck were you, eyebrows, to, and now he's naked, faster than it took me to say that. By the by, this is what he looks like on Wikipedia. When the Illuminati girls ask Adam what he's doing, he declares that he's going to turn something into gold, and we're basically told that it's going to be the equivalent of a nuclear bomb, which is pretty much where we've met lunacy critical mass. The Neapolitan crew show up, donning their armor despite not having any linker, and there are sparks of black electricity arcing over them as they use their pure will force to synchronize with their suits. And based on the flashbacks we saw earlier this episode of Maria trying to use gear for the first time, this fucking hurts. And Maria says this! Symphogear, it's okay. There were already a lot of shippers for this pairing. We understood before this. You don't need to telegraph it. The only way you could make it more obvious would be to actually have them kiss. So, Adam blows all the girls up and gets a couple of chunks of gold in the process, and we end the Symphogear series. Do I even have to talk about how lame this cliffhanger is? Does it even count as a cliffhanger? We know they're not killing literally all the main characters halfway through the season, so why bother? My attention level is negative. That said, I did like Adam's cold-ass line about life is cheap, complaining about how little gold he'd gotten from blowing them up. Oh, and I almost forgot to talk about the Saint Germain background from the cold open. It was okay. It's nothing revolutionary. The good news, it was brief. The bad news was that it came out of nowhere, and it didn't feel like it added anything to her character, and it didn't make me more interested in her character. Okay, generic, orphan, poor background. So what? It doesn't show her getting into alchemy. Just because your dad is an alchemist does not make you one. It doesn't show her joining the Illuminati, or shed any light on why she wants to do whatever it is she wants to do with the Illuminati. Kiki is pedo bait. I don't care that she's older than me, she's pedo bait. My friend Mika seems to really like her, but I am somewhere in between bored and annoyed by her so far. We also still know nothing about Pralati. If I wasn't making these reviews, I would not remember her name. I'm actually on the fence of if I'd remember Saint Germain's name, except it's just so hilarious that I probably would. Also, I think Pralati's Faust robe looks lame. But maybe, if we're very lucky, we'll find out more about the Illuminati's secret goals next time. Bye-bye! If you enjoyed this, please leave a like. If you want to make sure you don't miss the next episode, you can subscribe, or you can follow me twitter.com/Orestria. Sorry, Mika.